Hey, what's going on here?
Good evening. Good evening. I am Sean Atkinson, one of the hosts of Mind Changers podcast, and we have an exciting episode for you guys tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about the demise of TikTok, the resurrection of TikTok, and then maybe the demise of TikTok all over again. But before we get started on that, Lamar and I, we want to share some good news with this new partnership with Coyote Man Network. This new partnership will allow us to expand its reach and reach more people in more portals. It'll put us on Amazon TV, Apple TV, Fire TV, Roku TV, and what you've already enjoyed us under YouTube and Facebook. We just want to give everybody a way to find us and interact with us. So whether you're at home or on the go, we are here to share insight and spark conversation. But without further ado, let's get this started.
Mind Changers International, changing lives for the better. Our vision is to be a transformative platform that exposes lies and reveals the truth. Mind Changers International, we on a mission, masking the falsehoods with every new edition. We're here to enlighten your mind with this vibration, expose the lies, speaking truth, normal conversations. Mind Changers International, we on a mission.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm so glad that everybody is here. We are rocking, we are rolling, and we're ready to give you a dynamic show tonight. As always, I got my partner, Lamar, my man. What's up, Lamar?
What's going on, Sean Atkinson? How you doing today, my friend?
All right, all right.
Yes.
And we've got our guest host back, Jasmine. How you doing, Jasmine? Tell everybody what's going on.
Hello.
Awesome.
How y'all
awesome.
doing tonight?
I know, right?
Doing
I'm so
good,
glad
doing
that you
good.
decided to kick it with us again tonight. So, Lamar, what are we
Yes,
going to
sir.
talk about tonight, man?
Listen, man, we're gonna talk about TikTok. Tick, tick to the tick tick tock. Let me stop, y'all. I ain't no rapper. But anyway, we're gonna talk about TikTok tonight. Listen, we have a really, really good, exciting episode. But before we get that, listen, we have to get some business taken care of. And like Sean says, we're gonna be on Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV. Now, you're going to be able to follow us anywhere under the Coyote Man Show Network. But let's go through this disclaimer right quick. Guys. Now, we got the dirty work out the way. Listen, I'm so excited. We got Miss Jasmine Williams on with us today because we want to bring a little more flavor to Mind Changes podcast. So, Miss Jasmine, how are you feeling today, young lady?
I'm feeling great. Thank you too for having me. It's such a pleasure, really. It is. Thank you.
Well,
Awesome.
you're welcome.
I'm
You're
ready.
welcome. You're
Ready.
welcome. You're welcome. So, listen, this has been a crazy week, right, Sean?
Oh, man.
I
Crazy
mean,
week.
from Donald Trump, um, from Donald Trump to these
Yeah.
executive orders. I'm gonna tell y'all,
Mm.
we got so much content that's going to be
Mm-hmm.
crazy. But Sean,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna jump right quick, right? For
Okay.
5 weeks, we talked
Mm-hmm.
about Agenda 47 and Project
Mm-hmm.
2025.
Yes, we did.
Y'all thought we was play pimping, didn't you? Like Cat was saying,
Absolutely.
y'all thought we were play pimping, didn't you?
Yep. We told so go back if you haven't watch those podcasts where we discussed all that, and you will see we're day 4 after the inauguration, and they're on page 101 of Project 2025.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's about to get crazy, and I'm gonna tell you.
Mhm.
I know this show is not about Donald Trump, but listen, it's
Mm-hmm.
about TikTok. So let me ask you, Jasmine. So Jasmine, in your research, and I know we're going to get to our conversation, but in your research, how
Mhm.
did it make you feel after you heard TikTok was turned off and then automatically turned back on by Donald Trump, President? I'm gonna give
Mhm.
him his respect, President Donald Trump.
Right. Well, to me, it wasn't too much of a shock because I had heard rumors prior to any of this ever happening. So I heard that there were some potential security concerns. about TikTok, and I had it. I had TikTok on my phone at the time. So when I heard the rumors, I'm super cautious about what I have on my phone. So I deleted TikTok. I deleted TikTok from my phone
No, no, you can't get it
because
back now. Oh no,
Oh, you can't get it back,
I
Sean.
did it. I had to
no,
do it.
Oh
no.
wow.
That
What?
it's back on, but it's not on any store.
Mhm.
You cannot download. So if you deleted it,
Oh
you're
my.
out right now. You're out right now.
Yeah. Well, sad to say, I'm out. I
Ah,
deleted it because I feel like, well, you just got to be cautious about whatever you're downloading these days because it's just
mm-hmm.
so many concerns out there, so many risks. So I deleted it because I was looking out for me.
Yeah, I
Okay,
got you. I
And
got
okay.
you.
TikTok is such a great platform.
It
It's
is.
so fun. It's so
It
freeing.
is.
It's
It
is
is.
it's a platform where you can definitely build some strong relationships with people, and
Absolutely.
kind of use it as an outlet for life. Like,
Absolutely.
it's a great platform to use to build your businesses also. I
Oh
know we're
yes.
going to
Hmm.
get into that maybe.
Yes.
But yeah, so it wasn't back to your question, it wasn't too much of a shock to me that it happened, but now that I can't get it back, I don't know. I got
Okay.
mixed feelings now.
Okay. I know.
Wow. So
But yeah.
so what about so what about you, Sean, when you heard, because you called, matter of fact, we was on the phone we were on the phone talking and we was texting, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, we were texting.
Okay.
I was watching the football game,
Yeah,
and
we watched the football
but
game.
yeah, and but in between plays, I'll just scroll on TikTok, and I knew it was going to go down, so I made sure to stay on TikTok so that I
Uh-huh.
could see the moment we lost TikTok. So
Wow.
I was scrolling, and the moment I scrolled and my cache refreshed, I got the message. It is
Yeah.
gone. We're
Mm,
no
Yeah.
more.
And
But
let me
yeah, but
go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
but
son.
as Jasmine was saying, there's nothing better out there right now than TikTok and its algorithm on the ability for it to merge you and connect you with people of like interests. There's
Yeah.
nothing out there better than that. And it does a wonderful job at filtering out things that you're just not interested in, because all the other ones, Facebook and
Yeah.
X and all kinds of crazy things creeping. I went back to Instagram, and it is so ghetto. I'm like, I don't want to see none of this crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
man.
And
Instagram is
so,
off the chisel. For
and it's like,
I
I don't
love
want to
shizzle.
see boot.
Instagram.
I'm not trying to see booty cheeks shaking everywhere. I don't care about that. So, but TikTok was great about that. It was great about that.
Got you, got you, got you. Also, when that happened, this is what I thought about, y'all. Somebody might have killed themselves because there are people who become millionaires. Imagine
Oh
you
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what's going to come back on,
Hmm.
right?
yeah.
And that
Absolutely,
one moment, your
Right.
whole world crashed. Your whole
absolutely.
Right.
future, you be like, oh my God, I'm making $60,000, $70,000 a month and it's
Hmm.
gone. Can you
Hmm.
It's
imagine
gone.
Right.
somebody had to live with that anguish? And then if they did it, it's back on.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, a lot of folks just,
Hmm.
and they'll tell what somebody did. So let's talk about where TikTok originated, right? So this is the information I
Yes.
got. It was
Okay.
launched by ByteDance in
Hmm.
2016, and I think it's Dalian China it went global in 2017. It
Hmm.
had rapid growth. It skyrocketed after ByteDance acquired a musicality in 2017, merging the platforms in 2018. Now, what
Hmm.
is unique, y'all, about the algorithm and the user-friendly design? TikTok became a global phenomenon. We know that, right?
Hmm.
Dominating among young audiences
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
revolutionizing
Hmm.
short video. Let me tell you, TikTok was ticking and talking every minute with their algorithms. The algorithms is better than YouTube.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
better than YouTube.
Oh
And
yeah.
so
Absolutely.
Hmm.
let's get into some real thought provoking conversation, right?
Hmm.
So I'm gonna ask you, Sean. So
Yeah.
the TikTok collapse, right?
Hmm.
I think that was a wake up call, right?
Hmm.
For that temporary shutdown, it left millions scrambling,
Hmm.
disrupting lives, making folks feel like everything was over. Businesses was like, we done, we done.
Hmm.
the TikTok shop, we was making millions off of it,
Hmm.
and not to mention the creative outlets. So
Yes,
let's
Mhm.
talk about that, y'all.
absolutely.
Oh, quick before we get started. Listen, please like, subscribe, comment. We want y'all comments on this podcast because
Yeah.
we're going to address your comments. If you give a great comment, let's be respectful. Some people might say, "I'm glad it shut down." Then that's how you feel. If you feel that way, hey, put your comment up there, but just be respectful. So,
Mhm.
Sean, with that
Yes.
being said, the
Yeah.
TikTok collapse and that wake up call, what do
Hmm.
you think happened to America at that moment?
Well, let's go back in time just a little bit. At 2020, when TikTok really took off, when we were all in quarantine and lockdown in our homes, and everybody started jumping on the TikTok bandwagon. And the next thing you know, we're now all locked in our homes, but TikTok connected us like nothing else ever connected us, even more so than Facebook and all the rest. Because during that time,
Mhm.
Facebook and Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
um, was in upheaval mode. People just going political and nuclear and misinformation and nobody landed on the moon and I know you like that one and
Yes, I do.
um vaccines gonna kill you and you know and people were it just scared people even more. Being on Facebook, being on X just made your life even more miserable than
Yeah.
it already was. But then here comes TikTok. And TikTok had a wonderful way of filtering all that mess. And then people were just engaging and having a great time. And people, like you said, started coming up creative ways to make money on TikTok
Mm-hmm.
and coming up with creative channels. And then all of a sudden, it just explodes. And nobody's watching TV anymore. Nobody's visiting Facebook anymore. Nobody's on Twitter anymore. Everybody's spending 8, 9, 10 hours a day on TikTok. And TikTok exploded. And then you started having those individuals that are making 6 figures, 7 figures, being monetized on TikTok. And it was incredible. It was a utopia of social media. And then when we lost it all of a sudden, it was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? This is something that we have invested so much time, so much energy. We've made so many friends. We've connected with so many communities. And it was really, really traumatizing for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Jazz?
Well, I'm an Instagram lover.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
TikTok too. I had TikTok for a period of time, but again, the concerns, the security
Hmm.
concerns, it just baffled me a little. So that's
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
the only reason why I got rid of TikTok. But there are other platforms out there that
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
are great also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I before Instagram, Facebook was it for me.
Okay.
So, and it was a platform where I felt like was popular for a lot of people my age. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. That's really all I heard
Okay.
about was, those are the top platforms that I hear so much about. But with TikTok, I felt like I definitely agree. It's a platform where it was a connector.
Yeah.
It's a
Yes.
connector for so many people,
That's true.
including myself when I did
Okay.
have it. When I had it.
Yeah.
But Instagram is too, Facebook is too.
Hmm.
I mean, I think on all three platforms, there's the good, the bad, and the ugly
Yeah.
with
Hmm.
all platforms.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I've seen it on
Absolutely.
Facebook. Just,
Hmm.
some stuff I'd rather not see. I see it on Instagram too. Some stuff I just rather not see.
Okay.
But, TikTok, but they're all connectors. They're all great platforms that people can use to build their business, to connect with people, to
Yes.
build relationships with people. So I think it's sad to, maybe put all your eggs in one basket and maybe just rely on
Okay.
TikTok for your income
Okay.
only,
Mm-hmm.
because
I
there
got
are so many different great platforms.
you. Hmm.
So many. You can do the same thing on all
Yeah.
three or
Right.
four, or
Okay.
Twitter, or so many other platforms out there to use. So that's my take. I know it's so devastating to hear about TikTok going down, and
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
all the things that's going on with it right now. But I think this is a major lesson for people
Mm-hmm.
who have invested so much into TikTok to use other platforms, or maybe just build your own.
Yeah.
Have
Okay.
those other have some backups,
Yeah.
some
Okay.
backups for your business. So when one goes down, you don't have to cry and throw a fit because you got
Yeah.
5 other platforms that you can use to bring in
Okay.
money for your household. So that's my take on it.
Yeah.
They're
And
all great. I love them all.
yeah, yeah. Same here. And creators built, man, they built 6-figure incomes, right, on this
Yeah.
platform.
Mm,
Now,
mm,
imagine if that was you, right? You had a
Mm-hmm.
6-figure income platform and you
mhm,
woke up and you saw that. So, with all these people suddenly faced with uncertainty, you know,
Mm-hmm.
this is a question
yeah,
for both of y'all. What could have
mm.
happened if TikTok hadn't been reinstated? What would have happened to all of these people that they become millionaires,
Yes.
Mhm.
thousandaires? I mean,
Yes.
they become
Right. Yeah.
famous. I mean, the famous are becoming more famous. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
what would have happened if TikTok hadn't been reinstated? Would we
Mm-hmm.
have been like, and I know I just asked y'all 2 questions, but I just want to answer the one. Would we have been just like COVID? When COVID happened, we just found a way to exist again. So, what do you think would have
you
happened
got
if
to.
TikTok had not
Yeah.
been reinstated?
Yeah. Absolutely. You want me to go first, Jasmine?
Sure.
Okay. Um, I would think the end user, which is myself,
Hmm.
Jasmine, and Lamar. I would imagine we're all end users, meaning we consume the information in the product that people have put out. As the end
Mhm,
user, yeah, I would do just what you did, Jasmine. Just go back to Instagram, go back to Facebook, train that algorithm to know me again because it act like it didn't know who I was, and then
mhm,
just kind of live in those spaces. But the individuals that were definitely trying to make money off of that, or absolutely making money off of that, yeah, I think there was some denial there. Like, there's no way something like this, something this big, is going anywhere. It's a scare
right.
tactic. It's fear mongering. It's not going anywhere. So I would imagine a lot of individuals just stayed on, white knuckled it to the end to make sure that they kept their ground, kept their footing in
Hmm.
that social media space that they were in. Because
Mhm,
social media, you rise, you fall, you're popular, you're hated. I mean, that's just that's the business, the nature of the business of social media. So
Yeah.
like, so those individuals had some denial, white knuckled it to the end, and then it was gone. I'm sure that, what was it, 14 hours, it was like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? Whereas some people
mhm,
that I follow, they were already doing what Jasmine said. They were merging over to other platforms, making
Hmm.
sure people knew where they were going to be, where they were going to hang out at, uh, giving them
mhm,
those tag names to make sure they could go find those
Yeah.
individuals so they could possibly keep moving and keep pushing forward. But
yep,
that 14 hours for some of those 6-figure income people out there was probably nerve wracking, I would imagine.
Yeah.
yep. I
What
can
about?
imagine the same. It's hard when you're
Yeah.
making, and that's the way you eat and feed your family.
Hmm.
I can
Yeah.
imagine. I can
Yeah.
Hmm.
imagine. It hit some people hard, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
think that's a good reason to, again, not put all your eggs in one basket. Like, hey,
Hmm.
like you got different avenues.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
TikTok is not the only one, although it's making the bread.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's
But
making the bread.
stretching yourself, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely hard, but
And, my
mm,
my thoughts of if TikTok hadn't come back up, you know, but I look at it this way: the creative economy and digital culture would have undergone, we know, a major shift, right? Potentially leading to what we may say a rise of alternative platforms, like say the
mhm,
Facebook and all of that, and maybe a new emergent, how can I put it? A new emergent platform with a trend would have started, because we
Okay.
always start trends. Like when
yeah,
COVID happened,
mhm,
a trend
Hmm.
started. People start
Right.
doing DoorDash. People start doing this, start
mhm,
doing that, and they say, "Well,
Hmm.
ain't nobody working no more." They are. They're just not working for you.
That's
You
true.
follow me?
That's true.
So if the
Yeah.
mhm,
platform
yeah,
had collapsed and never came back on, evolution would have took place. People would
Yeah.
have ran somewhere else and then made that popular. Because remember, Twitter was
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
Who?
yeah.
Twitter don't even exist no more. Not in my
That's
not in my mind.
that's because
Not in
Elon
mine
Musk
either.
owns.
Yeah. So
I mean, Elon Musk owns it, and nobody likes Elon Musk, man.
yeah, with the High Hitler thing. But
Mhm.
he's saying from my heart to yours, whatever you want to say. You
Hmm.
smart enough to know what High Hitler did. So whatever.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's what I think
Mhm.
would have happened if
Yeah.
TikTok had never been reinstated. I think people would have. It would have been a major shift. People would have
Mhm.
got smart, got more creative, and
Mhm.
say, "Hey, you know
Right.
what? Let's start uh, another platform." And then everybody be like, "Hey, you heard about this new platform that started up?
Mhm.
This, and that." Because you remember MySpace. Remember MySpace?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Jasmine,
Right.
are you old enough to know it's MySpace?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I remember I had a MySpace.
Okay. Remember, MySpace was the thing back then.
Yeah, it was. It
Right?
was.
It was a
It
thing back
was.
then. People were putting up
Mhm.
platforms and they were getting famous, but I guess the people didn't take it
Mhm.
serious, the ones who owned the platform. So
Right.
now there's a thing on the news we heard when Donald Trump plans to restructure TikTok, right? So
Hmm.
he reinstated TikTok with the condition that if it be restructured and sold to the US to a US based company. Now here's the crazy thing.
Hmm.
The Joker said that sell it and give the United States half the money. Do y'all know how this is like Sean? This is like
Yeah.
look, me, you, and Jasmine, we done took this platform to the moon.
Hmm.
And then the United States government say we're gonna shut it down. Y'all sell
I
it and
know.
give us half. I'm like, yo, y'all ain't put in on this.
I
50%.
know.
Y'all ain't,
Absolutely.
like Chris Tucker said, y'all ain't
Mm.
putting in on this, man. You ain't putting in on
Exactly.
this. So look,
That's a strike at the heart.
yeah,
50%.
yeah. So basically what Donald Trump is saying, right? Restructuring TikTok would improve, which they say the data security, addressing national security concerns. Ain't no national security concerns on TikTok. It's
Hmm.
national money concerns. Y'all hate
Yes.
that somebody's making all this money. So what we
Hmm.
gonna do, y'all? We gonna go to this video and we gonna talk about this video.
Right.
Okay.
So the deal I'm thinking about, Larry, let's negotiate in front of the media. The deal I think is this, and I've met with owners of TikTok, the big owners.
I bet you did, Donald.
It's worthless if it doesn't get a permit. It's not like, oh, you can take the U.S. The whole thing is worthless. With a permit, it's worth like $1 trillion.
Mm.
So what I'm thinking about saying to somebody is buy it and give half to the United States of America, half, and we'll give you the
Hold
permit.
up. I'm gonna stop y'all. Why would they give half to the United States of America? First of all, you ain't
Right.
giving it to us. So I thought we are the United States of America. That means
Right.
Sean, Jazz, and we gonna get paid. Cause he said get
Mhm.
half to the United States of America. But I'm gonna play this one more time because this is a funny dude, man.
Dollars. So what I'm thinking about saying to somebody is buy it and give half to the United States of America, half, and we'll give you the permit. And they'll have a
We'll
great
give you the
partner, the
permit.
United States. And they'll have something that's actually more valuable because they have the ultimate partner, and the United States will make it very worthwhile for them in terms of the permits and everything else. But so think of it, you have an asset that has no value or has $1 trillion value. It all depends on whether or not the United States gives the permit. So what I'm saying is let the United States give the permit and the United States should get half. Sounds reasonable. What do you think? Sounds like a good deal to me, Mr. President. Yeah. He can afford it too.
Yo, I'm gonna start first. That is blackmail.
Yeah.
That is pure backdoor
That's extortion.
blackmail. It's more than extortion. You
That's
basically
extortion.
saying we gonna give you a permit that's worth
Mhm.
half of the evaluation.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah. Exactly.
Man, if
Mm.
Bernie Mac was here, Bernie Mac like, first of all, let me tell you something, Donald Trump. You ain't put in on this. How you feel like you gonna get half of the profits? You're not gonna get anything. I'll smack you up.
It's crazy. It's
Oh,
crazy.
Okay,
man.
let's talk about
As a
this.
creative, that's kind of insulting.
It is. Listen,
To take 50% of what you created. You
Hmm.
created this. The owner created this.
Hmm.
And then the discussion about the restructuring of something that you created. So it's
Right.
like it doesn't even look like this is something that came from you. It's
Right.
something completely different.
Absolutely.
I I can see how that could be very devastating to the person who put their thoughts, their process, their money, their
Hmm.
they invested in this.
Hmm.
And
And now it's like to hear this 50% of what you built and then the restructuring. So it might not
Hmm.
even look anything like what you made it to look.
That's right.
That's harsh.
yeah,
That's hard.
that's
That's
financial
rough.
rape. That's financial
Yep.
That's
rape.
rough.
They trying to rape TikTok.
Yep.
Like basically, and listen to what he said. Well, um, if we don't give you the permit, then there's no profit. Like
Right. Yeah.
we gonna
Yeah. It's
this
nothing without the permit.
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
first of
Dang.
all, why do they need a permit from the
What?
United States?
Yeah.
They ain't building no building or nothing.
Right. Right.
Like
Mhm.
a permit. Like we're gonna permit you to do business in the United States, but the price you're gonna pay is half your business.
Right.
And if you're giving it to the
Definitely.
United States, who getting the money? The government?
Yeah. Yeah. Who is getting the money?
Who's the
Exactly. Where
who?
where does
Mhm.
where
Good
does
question.
500 billion go? I mean, does it go back
Mhm.
to the taxpayers? I mean, what does it pay for an infrastructure, or does it go in
Mhm.
the billionaire's pocket? I mean,
Right.
w- that's something that we need to know. And now I've got an opinion now. So opinion alert, opinion alert. Okay,
Okay.
here we
Ding
go.
ding ding
All
ding
right,
ding ding
now
ding.
Facebook for a long time Mark Zuckerberg enjoyed being number one in the social media space for a long time. And it
Hmm.
wasn't even
Mhm.
close, right? And then, like we just said, here comes TikTok. And then here comes
Mhm.
all the misinformation that Facebook was just being plagued with. And TikTok took over. And during COVID, TikTok took over. Now, Mark Zuckerberg is number 6 and he's steady
Wow.
falling. He's steady
Wow.
falling. And in this space, now social media is all about gathering information. That's
That's
all
true.
it is. It gives us a space that we can go and that we can interact with one another. But in doing
Mhm.
so, we have to abide by the terms of agreement and allow them to have our data. Our data being where we go, what we buy, who we talk to,
Mhm.
who we voted for. I mean, whatever it is that we do on our phone, that information goes to these social media platforms. And then in turn,
Right.
advertisers buy that information so they know
Hmm.
what Jasmine likes. They know what kind of shoes she
Mhm.
likes to. They know what kind of yogurt she eats. Know what kind of TV shows she watch. Know what kind of hair products Lamar uses.
Hmm.
So and it just takes all this information and they sell it to the highest bidder.
Hmm.
That money is extraordinary. It is in the trillions of dollars, the amount of money. So now harvesting our data is the new oil boom. It is the
Mhm.
new
Yeah.
way that these individuals are getting rich. So if TikTok is now gathering all that information
Hmm.
and selling all that information, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk can't sell that information. They're losing money hand over fist in something that they have invested so much money in. And
Yeah.
like we've all seen, social medias can die overnight, like MySpace. Like you
Mhm.
said,
Hmm.
if you are not on
Makes me
top and
think.
you start falling, below that number 10 spot, you can go by the wayside and nobody will ever miss you. And that's what Mark Zuckerberg, that's what Elon Musk are
Hmm.
absolutely afraid of if they don't get TikTok and extort them and make that company part of them. So, because this is what they want.
Hmm.
They want the algorithm. The algorithm is the power of all these social medias. And
That's
the
correct.
algorithm in TikTok runs circles around anything that is out there. But it is proprietary
Proprietary.
software.
Yeah.
Proprietary software. We
Hmm.
can't peep into it. We can't see the engine. We can't see what makes it drive. And Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk want to get their grimy little hands in this algorithm
Hmm.
so they can then merge it over into their social media platforms
Yeah.
and make their stuff feel like TikTok so
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
everybody will have a choice and they can be on all three. They can be on all three, whatever they want to be on, and still enjoy
Yeah.
the coolness that is TikTok.
Yeah. And I'm gonna
Mhm.
say this, Sean. What Facebook is gonna buy TikTok. I'm telling you.
Okay.
They
If they
are
sell.
Yeah,
if they sell though.
but
If they sell.
there's something holding it
Yep.
up, and I ain't gonna give that away
part.
right now. So don't we give that
Mhm.
away right now about what's keeping anyone from purchasing TikTok right now? Because we got
Right,
another
right.
video, and so I'm gonna tell you,
Mhm.
the power of the government in the digital space is getting crazy. At one
Yes.
point in time, they had no power, right? So
Mhm.
the TikTok shutdown demonstrated that government's ability to influence
Mhm.
and to reshape global platforms. That is dangerous. Now, TikTokers are now, they've lost confidence
Yeah.
in TikTok because
Yes.
if you shut me down once, you can shut me down twice. And TikTok
Absolutely.
owners, whoever you are, listen, users are now looking into alternatives because
Mhm.
that scared them half to death, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
while they say national security concerns, national security concerns over data,
Mhm.
privacy, or are valid. It's valid, right?
Mhm.
This move also
Yeah, it
reflects
is.
a broader geopolitical competition between the United
Mhm.
States and China. There we go again with this fight we ain't got nothing to do with.
Yeah. Mhm.
Why are we picking with China?
Right.
You already know they don't care. They don't care.
Right.
They'll set a bomb off and kill everybody. They don't care. They
God
don't care.
forbid.
So I pray that doesn't happen. But future interventions may set a precedent for how governments interact with social media platforms, impacting tech innovation and creative freedoms.
Yeah.
So we got a
Mhm.
lot, y'all. Just a
Yeah.
lot going on right now. Because if I
It
was a
is.
TikToker or I had
Mhm.
a TikTok store, right now
Mhm.
I'd be looking for something else.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And not to
Yeah,
mention, like,
absolutely.
okay, um, all of a sudden, these social media giants, these billionaires, have a huge interest with Trump, and Trump has a huge interest with them. I mean, you saw them all on the front row seat of the inauguration, right there front and center, and they've been elbow to elbow with Trump throughout his right there towards the end of the election. So
Mhm. Yeah.
there's definitely a partnership between the Oval Office and
Hmm.
these social media giants that is unprecedented, and I'm really curious how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Think about this, Jazz. Losing
I am too.
access created a sense of loss, both personally
Mhm.
and professionally, to people on TikTok. I'm looking at the time. So
Yeah.
look, so
Mhm.
let's if we don't have any more comments, let's go to our next video. All right.
Okay.
Sean, you sent me this video. I like it. It says a lot. Here we go, y'all. And this is where we're gonna get through all of the manure. See, I didn't say that word. I said manure. We know what manure is. All right.
Mhm.
So let's get to it.
So I was one of the first people out front saying, wait a minute, we can't ban TikTok for a variety of reasons, including one, no one has briefed me on anything related to Chinese espionage. Two, majority of people using it are young people who tend to lean Democrat. Of course, this is being led by Republicans. And can we have some time to digest what we're talking about? None of those things happened. And so I was against it then. And then I started talking to some very high-ranking officials, like the highest ranking officials you could think of. And they told us, and I quote, the Chinese are gathering more data from Facebook than they are from TikTok.
Okay. Y'all heard what my man said, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it again just for those who need to hear
The
it.
Chinese are gathering more data from Facebook than they are from TikTok, by far. So TikTok is not the boogeyman that we thought it was, right?
Wow. TikTok is not
Yep.
the boogeyman that we thought it was.
That's right.
You know,
Well,
go
I,
ahead.
I just feel like with what we share, our generation, we put all our business out there. Well, not me per se,
Yep.
but some people share it anyway. You don't have to dig too hard. You got it
Mhm.
all out there. Get ready with me while I go here. Got your
Yeah.
location turned on. Everything
That's
is
right.
you just post. They don't have to dig too hard to find the information. It's
Mhm.
all
That is
out
right.
there because we give it to
That is
them.
right.
Yep.
Where
That
you
is right.
live, who you pictures of this person and that person and where they You know,
Yeah.
that's just a side note. It's just a side note. Like
Yep.
the
I
information
agree.
is all out there.
We're very open. I agree. This generation is very
Very open.
open. Very open with their
It's not
information. I agree.
completely a bad thing though.
Yeah. So did you hear what he said? The Chinese are getting more information from Facebook than
Mhm.
they are from TikTok.
Right.
But they made us believe that there was a security breach, national security breach
Right.
on TikTok,
Mhm.
and making us think that the Chinese government was using our information against us when really
Right. Right.
they're not.
Right.
They're
Mhm.
not. They only can get what the user put up there.
That's
I
right.
don't see what they can get from you. Now I'm not an IT guy, so
Right.
I'm pretty sure that
Right.
you know when you're on a platform, you are vulnerable. Your equipment or your device can be
Yes.
vulnerable. Well, they just said Facebook. And this is
Right.
why, you know,
Mhm.
all these businesses that, you know, relied on TikTok for marketing and revenue, they are now
Mhm.
forced to reevaluate their strategies. And they had to do that overnight, leading
Mhm.
them to potential income loss and disrupted plans. I'm
Right.
telling you, TikTok is going to see a decline. Because what do you do to a meganopolis when it's
Mhm.
growing? You have to break it, right?
Right.
So when they shut down TikTok, they really broke it.
Mhm.
They broke it. They broke the confidence in the users. They
Yep.
broke the confidence in the businesses who never thought this would happen. They
Mhm.
took
Mhm.
stars, people who are famous on TikTok. Now it's like once the bridge break, you don't want to cross it no more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you cross it, you crossing it with, you know, with caution, right? So
Yep.
Severe.
so
Mhm.
preparing for the unpredictable, this is
Yeah.
a lesson for creators.
That's
TikTok
right.
shut down. I'm telling y'all, it serves as a stark reminder that no platform is permanent. Y'all
Yes.
heard me.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
Mhm.
platform is permanent. That goes for Facebook. That goes for Instagram. That goes for any platform that's out there right now. So y'all,
Right.
Right.
talk back to you, boy, about that.
Well, now look, TikTok is up and it's running, but it's actually limping. It's not the TikTok that we enjoyed for
Mm-hmm.
creators. Prime
Mhm.
example is you can't download the app anywhere on any store. So you are just if you got it on your phone, that's the only way you can view it. Second of all, they're not being nobody's being monetized right now because you can't send money to your favorite creators. You cannot buy
Oh.
tokens. You cannot buy
Mhm.
tokens on TikTok, and those little coins that you buy, you give them to your favorite creator that turns into that some of that money that they enjoy for their monetization. So everybody up there right now is doing it for free. They're
Wow.
holding on to a
Mm.
sinking ship. They're holding on to a sinking ship. Now let's go back to what this the former congressman was talking about as far as the information that
Mm-hmm.
the Chinese is fleecing out of Facebook. I I did some digging, and the information that this gentleman was talking about was learning us as American people, learning our fears,
Mm-hmm.
learning our concerns, and using those fears and those concerns to weaponize them to get us to start fighting one another. The
Mm-hmm.
misinformation rumor mill that Facebook was so horrible for this, the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the information that he was talking about, that they're getting more off of Facebook than they're actually getting off of TikTok. And there's a reason for that. Facebook is where a lot of your grandma and your grandfathers are,
Mm-hmm.
where the ones that love Trump and feel like the country is going to, hell in a handbasket. So they're there and they're doing all that talking, and
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is taking and their algorithm is putting them together so that they have these communities where they're just ranting and raving. And there's been evidence that China was used, or Russia was using that information to put out fake news stories to get them
Mm-hmm.
all riled up all over again. And that's
Mhm.
what this congressman was talking about. Whereas TikTok, there's more liberals and Democrats that enjoy TikTok, and a lot of that fear mongering is not taking place. But it's also allowing those individuals, those Democrats and those liberals, to find community and come together and try to plan an attack, because a lot of the all the Black Lives Matter movement was taking place on TikTok, and as we've talked about in the past, that was hated by the right. The right hated the Black Lives Matter movement, and they don't forgive TikTok for empowering them and giving them a space to where they could go and they can talk. So another issue with data is now when these apps run on your phone, it is up to either Apple or Samsung or Google, whoever makes the phone, to make sure their operating system plays nice so that those apps can't siphon any of your data. Data like your banking information, your 401k plan, all those things that you log in, all those bills you pay on a daily on your phone. They felt like TikTok was actually siphoning that information and then taking that information and stealing the money out of your bank, stealing the money out of your 401k. And we've seen evidence to where that could have been happening, but we don't have any evidence that it was taking place in the TikTok space. It could have been happening somewhere else, another leak somewhere else. So I think the government was using fear mongering, saying that you lost all your money in your bank because when you paid your rooms to go bill, they got your banking information and then they took all your money out of your bank.
Yeah.
TikTok was a culprit. So I think that is where the fear with all the data being siphoned was coming from.
Yeah. So what do you think
And you
about
see
that,
that
Jan?
happening so often. I mean, honestly, these days, it's just hard to know what to believe in and what not to be honest.
Absolutely.
Because it's so much false, so much fake news out there. This is going on. Oh, you got to watch this, and oh, this is happening, and sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. You don't know, so it's like, okay, well, let me do what I need to do for me to protect me, because that's honestly, what I was thinking. I didn't look too deeply into what was going on, or I just heard, okay, security breach, security concerns. Okay, well, let me just go ahead and delete it from my phone. I didn't even dig too deep in it, to be honest with you. I did. I just wanted to protect myself. Go ahead, delete it, get it on out the way. Ain't got to worry about nothing.
Yeah. So imagine how many people did that, Jazz.
Yeah, but the people who making money, I can see, I'm not a creator on TikTok making six figures. So it could be harder. It could be a much harder decision for somebody who is making some big bucks based on TikTok. So, for that person, they would probably know what's going on. They would probably have done more research than me. Probably know a little bit more about what's going on. Is it fake news? Is it legit? Because there's so much stuff circulating out there these days. It's really hard to tell sometimes. It really is. So you just got to watch your back with everything, because this app taking this and tracking you, doing, so it's difficult, but
That's
Now,
right.
the one thing I like about Apple phones, it will ask you if you want this app to track you.
Yep.
Right.
That's why you keep
It will.
getting them
Yep.
Androids.
I've seen that.
You keep getting them Androids. I'm trying to tell you, it's an unprotected PC. I keep telling folks that it's an unprotected PC.
You're going to start a fight with this, Lamar.
Hey,
Come on now.
listen, I want to fight. Listen, bring all the smoke.
Android versus Apple.
Oh my!
Yeah,
that has been
bring the fight. Bring it. I want it.
I know, right?
Bring the fight. I'll be back. Bring the fight.
I've had both Apple and Android, so I can speak on both.
So which one you like the best?
Apple is definitely more secure from what I have experienced personally.
Come on with it, sister.
So,
come on.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I can speak on it too, because I have experience with it.
I do too.
I know. So I'm Team Apple.
I won't even pick one
I have
up.
my reasons.
This hand belongs to Apple. It would not touch an Android. I had the first Apple phone that came out. I was in love with Apple from the very beginning. Listen, I'm Adam, and I bit the apple. I am Adam. But look, so let's get moving. So building beyond TikTok, y'all. So diversifying your platforms, establishing presence on alternate platforms like Instagram. We talked about that, YouTube, short reels, Pinterest, and Facebook stories. So we listen out there. If you're a TikTok user and you are really, really building your brand, you want to consider having a presence somewhere else as well, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Test emerging platforms like Clapper, Lemonade, or Snapchat, Spotlight, which can gain popularity in TikTok's absence if TikTok ever, was to cease to exist, meaning that
Right.
it would be crucified. Because for me, that's what they were trying to do, and that's what they're trying to do, especially if a user or creator cannot get paid. Your money has been stopped right now. Build direct connections. You better start collecting email addresses. Your SMS contacts, and maintain control over your audience. If you do that, no matter where you go, they will find you. Create a personal website or a blog or a central hub for your content or your brand. You cannot, as Jazz say, keep your eggs in one basket. We got another video, so let's go take a look at that video, y'all. Anybody got any more comments?
Yeah, just right quick. And how about after TikTok went down or was on its way to go down, everybody jumped on this app called Red Note, which was absolutely Red Note. I mean, if you did the research on that, everybody jumped over to a Chinese-based national app called Red Note, jumped on that, and it's only for Chinese people. So all the people protested, like, you're telling me that I can't be on TikTok because you say a Chinese spy is watching what I'm doing. Well, check this out. I'm going to go to an app that I know a Chinese spy is looking at what I'm doing. And then all of a sudden you had the senators on national TV was like, look, guys, we got to slow our roll because now everybody's jumping on a state-sponsored Chinese app called Red Note. And we know that Chinese is watching that because that is what they do, because they watch over their citizens. They keep a close tabs on what it is they're doing and everything. And the American population just protested. It's like, well, I'm definitely going to give all my information over to China. And then the government was like, man, we got to pump the brakes on this.
Wow. You got a comment on this, Jazz?
Not after that. No.
It's crazy, man. Sean, what is it called? Red Nose or Red Note?
What?
It's called Red Note, is the English translation as to of what the actual app is. The entire app is in Mandarin, so you had to be able to read Mandarin just to use the app. So
I'm still trying to read English.
People were going over there. They were learning Mandarin the best they could, and the Chinese people that were on that were loving it. They were like, oh my God, all these American people. And they started talking. They started sharing ideas. We started telling them, because they were starting to ask us questions like, do you have to pay for your own ambulance when you get sick? And they were like, yeah, we got to pay $122 million just to take an ambulance ride. And China was like, well, ours are free. And then they were like, then the Chinese people would go shopping and to the grocery store, and they would buy a month's worth of food for what was the equivalent of like $100 American money. And people were like, oh my God, we're getting fleeced. Then they were telling them how much they were, those Chinese people were telling them how much they were paying for rent. And they was like, man, I'm paying $82,000 a month for a 5 square foot house. You know what I'm saying? So, and people were started like, oh my God, maybe communism is good. Maybe I want to be communist. You know,
I'm moving to China.
So
that's
yeah,
it was. Do, right?
and Mei Ling is gonna be my neighbor.
Exactly. So it for like a week, it got real interesting, and then the Red Note app started putting in a English section so that we could go in and read what it was they were reading. Because here's the crazy thing: all those Chinese people could speak English. All of them could speak English.
Yeah.
Because they learned it in school, whereas there was a language gap for us. Because of course, don't nobody know Mandarin except from one guy one guy maybe down the street knows Mandarin. So
yeah, that's crazy. Right. Well, I'm gonna check that out, man. I'm gonna check that out. Listen, like and subscribe. Listen, share this with a friend, somebody you know that's on TikTok. We got some great information up here. Also, hey, hit the subscribe button so that you can keep up with our podcast. So we got one more video we're gonna take a look at, y'all. Let's take a look at this.
But I don't think anyone's talked about this golden share before.
Well, here's the concern. I learned about this golden share thing last night. Now, whoever has the golden share in a Chinese company is the only person that can decide to sell it. So how many public Chinese companies listed on the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange have this secret golden share? I mean, like, what is this? And I don't think that's even legal if it's not disclosed in a prospectus if you're buying stock in these companies. A lot of American shareholders in this ByteDance deal, I don't know if they knew about the golden share, but there ain't no deal until the guy with the golden share decides he wants to sell, and that's Qi. But I think you're going to hear a lot of noise about this. I noticed a post from Lindsey Graham. He's freaking out about this, and he wants to make sure that he's going to put a bill out, apparently.
Wow. So check this out. So I did a little research. So basically the concept of the golden ticket, right, in the context of TikTok, it refers to a person who have a certain ownership right or privilege that allows certain individuals or entities to control the app distribution and sales. In many business scenarios, a gold ticket can symbolize exclusivity and access and authority over a valuable asset. And what Mr. Wonderful was talking about, if that is true, then they have lied to stockholders. They have lied and they have been manipulative in the fact that somebody had an ultimate control to sell this company, and that's illegal by itself. So what do y'all think about that?
Well, definitely. I did a little bit more digging on that, and that gentleman right there was misinforming us about the golden share. The golden share is nothing more than the same thing we have in stock market, which is who owns 51% of a company gets to call what happens in a company. You know what I'm saying? Who has the majority of the stocks. The golden share in the Chinese government has to take place if it is a media company, so that they can decide what media flows, what media comes in and out of their country. So that golden share is just like what you would call the majority stockholder. So he wasn't being completely truthful on what it was, saying that now, oh my God, there's other companies that may have this golden share. No, if it's owned by China, that's the way it works, and everybody knows that. And you would think he should know that because he's supposed to be one of these big billionaire gurus. So he definitely wasn't being honest. So that is probably going to keep TikTok ever from getting bought up by an American company, because China wants to continue to gain control over this, just because of the algorithm is so powerful. They want to, they want to continue to control that algorithm, because once they lose it, there's no need for them to have it anymore. There's literally no need for them to have it anymore. So that's going to be the ultimate thing that's going to keep TikTok from being bought out. And in another 30 or 90 days, however long the extension has been given, we're going to lose TikTok again. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Well, we done lost it. If you're not getting paid, if you can't sell product, if you can't sell merchandise on TikTok, remember, in order to devalue a company, you have to break it. And that's what our government has done. They have broken TikTok. It's ticking, but it ain't talking, right?
Yes.
They have broke TikTok. Like I said, it's like a watch that only ticks but don't talk. Right. So listen.
Well, maybe we can unbreak it if somebody decide to purchase a permit and sell 50% of it. 50%. There is a way for it to be,
like Donald Trump said. So
revive it.
If you allow us to sell, 50% of Facebook, we will allow you to, keep your company. You can make some money, but you have to give the United States 50% of the profit.
That's what Donald Trump is saying. And so I want to offer a step-by-step guide for influencers out there. If you're an influencer out there and you're thinking about TikTok, or you now got the TikTok bug and now you're late because TikTok been out for some years for you to get a TikTok bug, you know, you got to assess your current presence. Review which platforms you are actively on and evaluate their stability and popularity. That's the first thing you got to do. And then you got to establish platform strategies. Identify at least three. Listen, y'all, three platforms where you can share your content and engage with your audience.
That's right.
Sean, you got one for me?
No, not really. I don't really. My experience on the whole aspect of moving in those spaces is very limited. I don't really know how that world works. I'm just the end user in those spaces. Whereas this podcast is a totally different, scenario of creativity. This podcast, I don't think would actually live in the TikTok space because TikTok is not designed for this kind of medium, whereas Facebook and YouTube, it is more designed for this. So I am kind of new to the whole TikTok space.
Okay.
I literally am just a year or two into TikTok. I never even gave it an opportunity until maybe a year ago, and I have loved it, being in there ever since.
Yeah. What about you, Jazz?
I mean, I don't think I've given it much opportunity either, because like I said, I had it for a while. I had it for a short while, and then that news came out. I said, "Oh no, I got this. This ain't being this. I can't have this on my phone."
And y'all know why
maybe
she
I
went?
didn't give it a chance.
Yeah, maybe she didn't give it a chance. You know why? Because she had an Android and she had some issues, and she was identity struck. And when she heard that, she was like, I ain't going through that again. Am I right, Jazz?
I gave that Android up a long time ago, just like I did TikTok.
Oh wow!
Both of them had to go. Both of them did.
So I got some more tips for users. So if I was a TikToker right now, the first thing I would be doing is connecting with every person that follow me. I will be sending them to my alternate. I'll be sending them to. You got to engage with your audience. You got to foster relationships with them, your followers, through comments, DMs, and interact content to build your community. And then you got to develop a backup plan. Listen, like Jasmine said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Have a contingency plan in place for what you're going to do if your primary platform goes down like it did on Saturday. It includes ways to quickly pivot to an alternate and stay informed. Keep up to date with the news regarding social media platforms. And listen, changes in government, regulations that may impact your work. And this is one more I'm going to give you. Invest in your skills. Continue to improve your content creation skills to stay competitive across platform. Monitor analytics, regular analyzing your performances across platforms to understand what works best for you and what you're putting together. Whew, I just gave a lot, y'all. I mean, come on. I'm just trying to help people. Oh, yeah, build a personal brand. Because that's what we're doing. Yes. We're building a personal brand. What we're building ain't TikTok. TikTok ain't shutting us down unless Donald Trump get mad and he gets mad at Zuckerberg. And then now he gonna get mad at Zuckerberg. Him and Zuckerberg having a burger fight. And then he gonna get mad at YouTube and tell him now we're going to have my tube. And then we're gonna take your tube and we're gonna throw it out the door and we're gonna shut your tube down so we can use my tube. So listen.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So let me ask y'all a question, because we're nearing the end. How does the government's ability to shut down a platform affect creators and businesses? That's a quick question for anybody who want to answer that.
Yeah, go ahead, Jasmine. What you got?
This is an indication. What we got going on right now is a big indication of what they can do.
Yeah,
right here. What's going on with TikTok? It could, just like it happened with TikTok, it can happen. Honestly, I feel like it's an indication of what can happen to other platforms as well.
Yeah,
they're trying to shut them down for whatever reason for security breaches. So something could come up for another platform, just the same, just a different name, just
Yep.
a different platform. So I think for any platform, they all got to be cautious that the government is watching. So I mean, at any time, if you post something they don't like, if something happens, if they find out anything, can probably shut you down too, or
Yeah.
have the same scenario where we'll buy you out 50%. So
Oh my God,
that's my take on it.
that
That's
was
my take
horribly
on
that was horrible. And so, and this, we got a couple more questions we can ask. So I'm asking y'all this: could the restructuring of TikTok, create better opportunities for the creators, or will it disrupt the platform's unique ecosystem? Which one do y'all think it would do? Do you think it
Yeah.
would disrupt this ecosystem?
Absolutely. It would definitely disrupt its ecosystem and take the heart out of what TikTok was or currently is, and really hinder its growth, because people have fell in love with what TikTok is, and there's a huge mistrust in the government on what they're doing with TikTok. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that there absolutely truly is a security risk using TikTok in this country. At this point, the people just don't care. They want their TikTok. They want it back. They want it in all its full glory. And if the government ends up buying half of it, they're going to change it. It's not going to feel the same, and the
Mhm.
end user will probably move on to something else.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
JJ Wentworth. It's my TikTok and I want it.
I want it now.
Absolutely.
It's your TikTok.
I think maybe
Use it when you need it.
I think maybe a little bit of both. It might be some
Mhm.
opportunities for people who,
Yeah.
who are good at this or that. And,
Mhm.
for others, maybe not so much. I think a little bit of both,
Yeah.
Yeah.
good and the bad together. I think it's going to be so different as some people kind of adapt to change,
Mhm.
differently. And some may not have a strong take on it, and
Yeah.
it may be just too different and not for everybody.
Right.
But yeah, I'm on both sides. I think
Yeah.
take some hits, some losses, but I do think maybe there could be some potential gain for some people, some opportunity there as well. So
Yeah.
a little bit of both for
Yeah.
me.
And I think, honestly, I think this was the commonest move. The temporary shutdown for me highlights the digital landscape can be changed due to a governmental action. And
Mhm.
government shouldn't have nothing to do with social media. They shouldn't
Okay.
have
Yeah.
anything to do with social media.
Okay.
So I just think it was a bully move. It was
Yes.
a bully move. Listen, they didn't have no intentions of shutting it down. They just wanted to disrupt it, right?
Yes.
That's all
Yes.
they wanted to do, was disrupt TikTok, and they have done that. Now, there are people who got orders out there who had ordered stuff from the TikTok shop. They may
Mhm.
not ever get it, because now you
Yeah.
can't even make a transaction. Can't
Yeah.
nobody, no one
Mhm.
can be compensated. No one
Right.
can get any money. They knew
Right.
what they were doing. How do you kill a company? Devaluate it. Listen,
Mhm.
I should be a car salesman, right? And when people brought their trade in, I would tear
Right.
that trade apart. They come in and was like, "Hey, this is my 1998 Chevrolet Corvette. Man, this is clean." I said, "Okay, all right, let me take a look at it." Then I go around, walk on it. I said, "Hey, man, can you take this in the shop?" And we lift it up, and I look up under it. I was like, "Hey, man, you notice this?" He's like, "No, I didn't know that was there." I said, "Did you know this right here?" I didn't know they were there. I go inside and start pointing out the bad things about his car.
Right.
So he came up there like
Mhm.
Superman, like, "I got a good Corvette." What will y'all give it to me for? He did, listen, he went from "it's the cleanest
Change whole
Corvette
vibe.
in Baltimore" to what would you give me for it? And that's exactly what I
Right.
wanted from him. I wanted to
Mhm.
devalue his vehicle so we can
Right.
get more equity out of it when we resell it. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what they did
Yeah.
to TikTok. They took it,
Yes.
they put it up on the platform, snatched the heart out of it, put it back,
Yeah.
and now it's not even
Mhm.
functioning.
Right.
But if you know what you got, if you know you got a gem,
Mhm.
look, can't nobody tell you nothing.
That's
You ain't
right.
about to sit here and tell me. I know what I got. Okay.
Yes. So listen, man, this was a great conversation. So how you
Yeah.
feel, Jazz? You enjoying yourself?
I am. I
Okay,
really am. I just started getting comfortable.
okay, cool. Listen, you're among parents. Because I think I'm older than your parents. So you're among parents with two fathers. You're among parents. You're in good hands. We're gonna make sure
Yeah.
nothing happen to you. We're in good hands.
Mhm.
So listen, as we closing out, anybody got anything they want to say as we closing out?
Yeah, I'd like to just finish up with in the landscape now when it comes to just connecting with the world, knowing what is going on. The media has already shown itself kind of flaky as far as putting out the information that we need to hear. We're already distrusting the media. It seems like people have grasped onto their social media platform, and that is what they trust. That is
Mhm.
the portal to the world that makes them feel like they know what's going on. Because at the end of the day, we just want to know what's going on with our neighbors and the people across the ocean. And when you start losing now the last thing you thought was sacred when it came to connecting with the world, it can absolutely be a traumatic experience for an individual.
Yeah. What about you, Jazz?
I agree. I definitely do agree. It's a way to build a sense of community with people, to connect, to build, and those are just what you build on these platforms are just lasting memories that never go away.
That's right.
And you're
Yeah.
building relationship, and that means that's valuable. That's
Yeah.
valuable.
Yeah. And for me, the temporary fall of TikTok is a powerful reminder that, of the vulnerability of the digital world. As creators, listen, businesses and users, we must remain adaptable and forward thinkers, right? The future belongs to those who prepare to evolve with the times, regardless of the platforms they use. By diversifying our presence and building strong connections, we can ensure that we are not solely dependent on one platform as we move forward in this digital age. So listen, we want to thank y'all for tuning in to Mind Changers Podcast. Listen, share, like with a friend, and don't forget, we told y'all what we was going to do, and here it goes.
We told y'all, we came to expose the lies and reveal the truth. We told y'all, we bring in biblical principles of factual truth. We told y'all, we came to expose the lies and reveal the truth. We told y'all, we bring in biblical principles of factual truth. We told